That's Toya.
That's Mike. And this is Tech Beats and Bass.
There you go. There you go. Toya. Mm, mm.
Listen, that's why I got the shirt on. It says Obama says knock you out.
So you see my hat for the day.
And I was like, I gotta wear it today.
So this is my hat from my girl Rachel. Let go of racism. Look, man.
Yeah, silence is golden. Silence is golden. So let me just say this, right? So
go ahead, because I can't even. It ain't even in me today. It ain't even in me today.
So, of course, everyone's looking at the results from last night, the primary election in South Florida, right? Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. And it's just really upsetting, right? When you sort of think about the turnout. And as much as people have been in the streets fighting for different things, this election, especially down here in South Florida, was key because you were able to vote for specific roles who actually help to influence what happens in your day-to-day life. So, when you think about that, right, put the effort where you're going to get some results. And if you don't show up, then you can't get in the streets. Like, right? You just, it's too much because now where you actually have the opportunity to change the people who you don't want in these positions, you ain't show up. Less than a third. 26%, right? 28% here. Like, that's just insane. And we talked about it before, how we do early voting in my family. This year, I didn't do it. I actually went and voted yesterday. And there were 4 of us in there when I was voting. And it was super easy. They had it all marked off to prepare for crowds. Super sanitary. Like, I did not feel as if like I was threatened by Corona. It's just like, if you can go to Target, if you can go to Publix, you could have went to that voting poll yesterday. It was like nothing. It was just like any other thing. I was in and out in less than 10 minutes. In and out. Less than 10 minutes.
Look.
Hand sanitizer was everywhere. They had a little system for the pens. There was no excuse. Or the mail-in ballot. No excuse. None.
So I think we do this whole thing without even talking about the candidates. We can at least do the first 30 minutes without talking about the candidates. But I'm going to just read some simple numbers, some very simple numbers. Miami-Dade, 1.5 million voters, 28% turnout. So 1.5 million is the amount of people registered to vote. Dante, as our producer, if you could please see if you can find the information of the population count of people over the age of 18 that live in Miami-Dade County, because I don't think this is going to be enough for y'all to understand that even if there's 1 million registered voters with only 28% turnout, you also got to start figuring out how many people are capable of voting that don't even register to vote. So it's going to go with that. But to continue the numbers, so understand the numbers I'm giving you are the registered voters. This is not the population of these counties. Broward is 1.2 million voters, 26% turnout. Palm Beach, 991,000 voters, 26% turnout. So in South Florida, we had a 27.3% turnout of voters. This is my problem, LaToya. More of y'all tweet and post every day about the shit that y'all want to fix than y'all showed up to vote. If the biggest thing that I wish, and it was a missed opportunity, the shirt that I should have made, LaToya, the post that I should have made, the information that I should have put out is that at the end of the day, your vote is your protest. You literally just had an icon, a living legend, just died, and he died for you to have the right to vote. You know about marching over the Pettus Bridge, but do you actually know what the Bloody Sunday was all about? And y'all didn't show up. This isn't even race specific. This is human decency. Y'all didn't show up. So I'm not gonna get into the stupid antics of, oh, if y'all waited in line for them damn Jordans or for Popeyes, it ain't about that today, man. It ain't about nothing cute. It ain't about nothing flashy. Y'all just didn't show up. So obviously the things, and I'm just gonna have to apologize to my mama and everybody else because it's gonna be some cussing today. The shit that's fucked up in this world, especially in America, y'all don't want to fix it. Because the one way we can fix most of this stuff is through voting, and y'all simply didn't show up. 50% turnout. And you got to understand, not only did we not show up, most of the stuff that's in place is based upon the establishment, which means they are long-term policies and people and everything else that they have no intent of changing their ways. Using Kathy Fernandez Rundle as an example, 27 years. So the 28% that did show up, and then the 39% that actually voted for Melba, everybody else in the world, I'm gonna have to assume, thinks that whatever is going on in Dade County, y'all comfortable with it. Y'all like the way it is. Y'all don't want to see no change because it's been that way for 27 years. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with that one since that's something we were closer to. Toya, I guess, is everybody comfortable with the criminal justice system in Dade County because they got the same top cop for the next 4 years, and it ain't nothing you can do. The only thing you could have did was yesterday, which was to vote her out and just to try something different. I mean, I don't know what she didn't do in the last 27 years that you guys now expect her to do in the next 4 years. But is there something I'm missing in Dade County that the same person deserved to be in that position for 4 more years?
No, I think it's a matter of this. So this election, just talking about media, right? Media hype and focus so much. And what was interesting too was that the DNC was happening this week as well. So how many people were more so focused trying to watch the DNC than paying attention to what was happening locally? You really have to sort of think about that. Like, why? I get it, right? National is national, so it's going to be all over the place. But what touches you the most is what we were voting on yesterday. So is it because people don't understand that? And I think that goes back to just knowledge of how it really works, voter education, and then also the candidates. Because one thing that I think will be like interesting is if like the state attorneys had somewhat of like a debate, or at least to be able to speak on their platform, or something to where you could like see them in the same space. So then that way you began to understand, because I don't think a lot of people get it. And a lot of people don't necessarily understand who these people are, what those positions control, and what aspect of their life they affect. From commissioners to the difference between the county versus the city, especially if you're talking about Miami-Dade, and how all of that intersects. I think people get lost in it. And then they don't know the names on the ballots. So who knows? Who may have just been bubbling stuff in. And then like, oh, okay, let me just vote for this person because their name looks cool. Or, oh, this person, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think just overall, there just needs to be a different aspect to how we inform and the emphasis that is placed on these local elections to just hype it up more, to get people to want to come out. Because if people understood, I think that people would truly show up differently. But I don't know. I think that's something that needs to be polled. There needs to be a poll or some sort of survey taken to understand the difference, why people want to vote for the president, but they don't want to vote for those who are in their own backyard, who affect more of their life than anything else. Oh, so Dante gonna come on real quick.
All right. Sorry about that. That was Guy letting me know I need to calm down before I snapped off. Go ahead. No.
A little intervention. No, but I was just saying, when you think about some of these positions, it's because you don't see them enough, and then you don't necessarily, there's media plays a huge role in what gets prominence and what gets talked about. So is that more of it? Do candidates running for these positions need to be more out in front, doing different things, just getting in the people's faces? So then that way, just breaking it down to like the real basic level. Like, state attorney controls this. This is what my thought is, and this is how I will impact your life. Like, just straight up elementary. Like, just really, really just getting down to like real basics, just real basics. Because people are just so hyped about the DNC. You just saw a whole lot of conversation, right? Everybody was loving Michelle Obama's speech. But again, that's go back to this shirt, right? You so focused on this, but then you're not doing what needs to happen locally. It's all a system. Everything plays into each other. So if your local system is broken, people complain about the governor, right? But again, that's a position that you have to elect for. So you gotta civics. We take civics in 7th grade. I don't know.
All right, so go. I don't know what's going on. Look. I don't even know if it's civics. It's just gonna have to be basic 101.
That's what I'm saying. Take it back elementary style or something.
I just need everybody to assume that majority of the shit you complain about is probably controlled on the local level and not by Donald Trump. Because even when some of this stuff comes from him, just assume once it comes from him, it goes down to another level. And then that next level is going to be from federal to local and state. So once you get into that part, your conversation is different. But y'all not listening through the whole conversation. Like, it was proven in recent conversations where y'all didn't want Ben Crump dealing with this stuff because y'all think he's an actual prosecutor. So every time you see Ben Crump in your state or in your city, because he dealing with somebody being killed by a police officer, that's not Ben Crump.
Right.
That's your attorney. That's your state attorney. That is the prosecutor. They are responsible for putting away the cops and the criminals, not Ben Crump. He's a civil attorney. I don't know what y'all are doing. I don't get it. I mean, I'm hoping for comments, but I can't expect too many comments because the people that's commenting, I know y'all actually voted.
Right.
What y'all doing?
Yeah, no. If we, like I was saying, I don't know if you heard it because I know your internet dropped, but I was saying I feel like there needs to be like a survey taken of people who did not vote and be like, why? Like, what happened? What was it? Was it too hard? Was it you didn't know enough, so you just ain't want to cast a vote? Did you not know any of the players? Like, what was it? And in the age of the internet, all it takes is a quick Google, do. And also lots of organizations send out lists. So if you're not quite sure who to vote for, I got a ton of lists on Monday night with people who they were endorsing to help you kind of like make a decision. So that way, if you know that
let's talk about that part. Let's since you went there, I ain't want to go there first. You went there. I'm going there now. What's up with all these organizations endorsing in the 11th hour? Like, what's y'all point? Some of this shit is clear.
Because you missed really voting, but yeah.
Why? Like, I seen somebody yesterday sit out an endorsement on Monday evening. Like, where was y'all at for the last 3 months? Did you really need that long to make a decision? Because this is how I see it. You look at it from a marketing thing. You have the candidates. We're actually going to put the candidates at the very bottom, right? Or either at the very top. If you're looking at the foundation of the structure of the pyramid. Candidates are the very top. The voting is the very last thing. The bottom starts with the people, taking care of the people and the issues to address for the people. Then the second level is the organizations and the voices that listen to the people to make the best decision for the candidates. Then you have the campaigning, then you have the advertisements and endorsements. It just seems to be too much political stuff with the endorsements and the person that's being endorsed. And that transition just takes too long because you're the voice of the people. We saw Miami Herald just totally fail with their endorsement. I mean, just a total failure, because it wasn't a failure that they endorsed Kathy. The failure was they didn't give us a reason why they endorsed her. They gave us 4 reasons why they did it with reservation, but they didn't give us a reason why they endorsed her. And then I saw other organizations that were out there saying that Kathy has to go, but they never said Kathy has to go by voting for Melba.
Right.
What are y'all scared of? Making the wrong choice? Y'all not gambling on the game. It's not $1 million on the line. It's people's lives on the line. We already know people ain't that educated on these topics. We know that because people don't know to go to their city commissioners to complain about stuff that they're complaining to their governor about. You just skipped over who can actually make that change. It's like knowing the difference between when to call the cops versus when to call the ambulance versus when to call the fire department. You don't call the cops to put out a fire. Y'all protesting and doing all this stuff, but you ain't showing up. Now, the part that's going to make it even worse is when we go into the elected officials and we start getting a demographical breakdown of how many of those votes were actually black people. Because I'm assuming right now that those 28%, a lot of them were old white people, old Republicans, old Hispanic Republicans, old Hispanic Democrats, that they weren't going to change anything anyways. Now, granted, you look at Broward got real black on y'all. Broward got a lot of top. They tried everything they could do to break down Sheriff Tony. He stood strong. He still won. Scott Israel just couldn't pull it off. They tried to rip that man down.
Yeah, no, I was glad to see that one. I don't even live in Broward, but I was like, yes, for that.
Like, we're going to get right into it being real, and just because I don't give a damn, just to be real. Sabrina should have ran for mayor. I think Sabrina would have been a great mayor. Oliver should have been running for commissioner. They could have worked that together. Like, y'all got to understand how the others move on their side. They be planning 16, 20 years in advance, grooming people and positioning people. All we going to do is continue to argue down here? All these people giving all these conspiracy theories and Facebook, y'all are Facebook PhD certified. But then we had people start asking y'all questions. But did you vote? No, I don't believe in voting. What? Bruh. Y'all ain't no different than the person that want to get in shape, but you don't believe in working out or going on a diet. You just imagine you're going to get in shape.
And for those who be talking about the voting thing, right? So when you vote for the president, there's the electoral college. So in that instance, right, you got a popular vote and you got an electoral college vote. With the local election, it's your vote. Like, there's no layer on top of that. No, it's your vote. Like, with the presidential one that y'all be running out,
ain't nothing else to it. It's your vote.
It's your vote. With the presidential one, you got electoral college layer. So yeah, you may vote. That's why you have the whole Al Gore versus George Bush situation, right? Popular vote, electoral college vote. Who won? Electoral college. Why do they have that in place? Because they don't trust regular people to make the right decisions. Is that still necessary now? No, but it's still there. But you got to vote the right people in who will kill it. Again, you got to vote.
Or that will carry the policies. Like, if you really pay attention, at the end of the day, there's still only so much that the president does, but y'all don't care about who y'all senators are. Florida, for example, y'all let Rick Scott go from governor to senator like he just turned Florida around. Like Florida was just popping. We've been the joke. We went from the joke to the disaster of the joke, which was the death DeSantis. Like, who are y'all looking at? What do y'all see that I don't see? And
I don't know. What are they saying?
Megan, Joseph Patterson, Alicia, all the smart people I don't need y'all to reply right now. I need to know from those super intelligent Facebook PhDers, what the hell did y'all see that I don't see? Because voting was very easy this year.
Yeah.
And you had plenty of time.
Good opportunities to flip some really powerful positions.
And I know a lot of y'all broken at home. Y'all got time. Y'all working from home. Y'all can find a way to watch a whole movie while on a Zoom call, but y'all couldn't sneak off the vote.
Right. Put your AirPods in. You got a call. You just stand in the thing and you whisper. Yeah. So this is what happened.
Y'all don't do no meetings, but sitting there and be like, "Oh, okay, okay."
Right. You can do that same line. And
you
then
gonna summarize it in the email, right? Okay. All right. You know when they had this thing, Toya, where they say that call could have been an email or that Zoom could have been an email.
Mm-hmm.
That protest could have been a vote.
Right.
I'm gonna put this again so my producer can make this a caption. Pause. 1, 2, 3. That protest could have been a vote. All that walking. This is what I'm saying. Why weren't y'all in line in the same debt at a poll that y'all was at these marches?
Mm-hmm.
Why y'all wasn't coming out 10,000 deep at a poll?
That should have been some real organization, because the people who organize and protest could send out that same mass tweet or what Facebook, whatever, and organize that thing.
This is what y'all need to do. Instead of organizing a protest, y'all need to organize same thing Black people been doing. Souls to the polls. Y'all need to bring protesters to the polls, and I want to see 10,000 people at each poll holding the "I just voted" sticker. If y'all ain't doing that, quit protesting.
Right. Like now you just want to be in the streets. To be in the streets. To take photos. Was harping on Nick Cannon for out there posing and stunting for the gram at the protest, but then what were you doing?
And Joseph, I get what you're saying. Joseph gave us information that Black people had the highest percentage for not voting because of transportation problem at 6.1%. That's cool, but them same 6.1% could have just voted early and put it in the mail.
Yeah.
There's too many options and solutions for there to still be problems when it comes down to voting.
And most of the time, your local precinct on the day that you have to vote is actually pretty close to your house. Like it's not like they're trying to take you from one side of the county to the other to vote. It's usually pretty close to make it kind of easier for you to get there.
So I don't know when Joseph came on the show, but Joseph, I like what you're saying. But this is my problem. We keep talking about Black people making a change. We're in the data. Black people are only 20% of the population down here. Black people, if every Black person came out and voted, we still don't make the change.
And wait, and right now, isn't Miami-Dade transportation free because of COVID?
Yes.
So
it ain't just transportation of the 6.1 of the problems. Ain't nobody showing up. And so let me go back to what I said earlier for those that might just be coming on. Didn't nobody show up? This ain't a black or white thing. Y'all didn't show up, period. Y'all is everybody. Y'all is country from me from Alabama. When I say y'all, it ain't just Black people. It's all y'all. Y'all didn't show up. I don't care about how many Black people didn't show up. Nobody showed up. This ain't a race thing. Let me get that clear for anybody that's watching today. This ain't Michael Hall talking about Black people didn't do their part. Human beings as a society didn't do their part because they didn't show up.
Only 1/3, less than 1/3 of the voting population showed up.
Black people in South Florida are less than 30%. It's going to take the other 70% to make things happen until you're talking about things specific to precincts where majority is Black. Until then, you got them 56 plus old Hispanics that had the chance to move this needle, Joseph. Every Black person registered could have came out and voted, still would have lost.
Right. And with early voting, you could just go wherever. While you was running from Target, you could have popped into the precinct that you was passing, didn't even have to be yours, and could have voted that way. Like, you could vote on the weekends with early voting. So even if you can't make it during the week, that's what early voting is for. You could pick a day and just pop up real quick.
We got a problem. The pandemic is not this damn virus. This virus is a result of the pandemic, which is voter suppression, voter ignorance, voter stupidity, and everything else you want to add to voting. Because you know what? If we would have showed up 4 years ago, this is being handled in a different way right now. These are consequences of the results that were put in place.
Yeah. Maybe there needs to be an app for that. Maybe there needs to be an app that you can easily pull up, like your precinct. It can give you suggestions.
We couldn't get nobody to invest. It was called Poly 101. When you put in your information, it will automatically link you to who's in your precinct and what they're voting for. And then we took it even further. We did that. We wanted to do it just like Beats was. A lot of people don't seem to remember how dope Beats music app was. Beats music app used to had 4 little buttons on it, right? And you would push your 4 little buttons and say, I'm chilling, feeling like a 90s vibe, and I'm about to go to the club with 3 of my friends. It was like you would answer questions like that, and it would give you a dope playlist to set the mood. So I said, I'm going to take that same thing, and I want to make it, I'm tired of the cops killing everybody.
You're trying to address
in my neighborhood. How do I fix it? And then it would tell you, this is actually controlled by your state attorney, not by Benjamin Crump. It's a civil attorney. And your state attorney has been this person for the last some years. Oh, did I drop again? Alicia, did the internet drop?
So, Mike, I'm gonna join in with you. It was Toya who dropped.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, just to jump in as producer, man, as a person, like I had to become a steward of the voter stuff. So last night, instead of me, while I'm looking at the numbers, instead of me looking at the numbers of the people who run or, in their candidacy, I was actually looking at total voter numbers and also looking at how cities voter turnout. So most people don't know out. Like, for instance, I'm gonna use Miami Gardens as an example. Miami Gardens is a 51% city. So if you don't have 51% of the vote, regardless, you have to go to a runoff. And then also in Miami-Dade County, another one, for instance, is that if you're within the 1% to 2% range, it causes for a recount.
Okay.
So for instance, the Sabrina Fulton Oliver Gilbert ticket for County Commissioner of Miami-Dade County District 1, they have to go on a recount because of the numbers. But even though Oliver has almost 51% of the vote. So
but let me tell you something. That's well and good to know the data of the percentages of what it takes to win. But you know how you don't have that 1% problem? Mm-hmm. If 80% more people show up, you have a much more distinct number of the winner. So I get what you're saying, and I appreciate you throwing me the alley-oop. But guess what, y'all? We don't have runoffs, and we don't have these problems if you show up.
Exactly. It's a shame that you have.
It was about 3,000 of y'all that stayed at home that said I was going to vote for that person. If you would have showed up, guess what? That percentage ain't that close no more, and we have a distinct winner. Y'all ain't showing up.
And then that's the unfortunate part. Is to add something to you, brother. It's the unfortunate part that we have to listen to the lip service of people who always complain, who always say this, that, and the third. They're not getting this. People don't understand that yesterday's election was more important than the November election because you had county commissioners, you had school board members, you had mayors of cities. Those affect your everyday life. Every day. Presidents only affect the global scheme of things.
Go back every day. Everyday life is affected
Your
by the people
everyday
y'all
life
showing up for.
was dependent on the
Primary election, midterms, the things y'all ain't showing up for. Y'all just want to be able to say y'all voted for a president. Y'all don't care. It's cool. We here now. Y'all don't care.
That was your everyday life.
Y'all don't
was
care.
determined by yesterday's vote.
So when your kids got to go back to school with coronavirus, it's because of who you had voting for the superintendent.
Good example. So I have some friends in Hillsborough County, which is Tampa, in Florida. Here, Tampa was about to send kids back to school. Back to school. Tampa, Hillsborough County, send kids back to school. People who was on that dais was up for re-election. You want them to send your kids back to school when you got colleges as Notre Dame has almost had 200 positive cases of coronavirus and has to re-shut down the school. Notre Dame.
University of North Carolina had to shut it down.
Of Notre Dame.
University of North Carolina. Chapel Hill is shutting down. Now, this is the only thing I don't get. Chapel Hill is shutting down, but they want their kids to play football. Let me tell you something. In the ACC, Chapel Hill ain't even that good to be playing football. And I'm not saying that because I went to Florida State.
Right, yeah. Go ahead.
Chapel Hill is garbage in football. Basketball, whole nother world. But football, y'all kind of suck. Why y'all risking them kids' life for a losing season? When the last time University of North Carolina even made it to the playoffs or made it to a bowl game for football? Joseph, look that up. I'm just saying. Sandari, y'all up there in South Carolina, y'all know when it comes to football, Chapel Hill ain't it. Why are y'all even risking these kids? Y'all got some well-educated people. Y'all got some great programs up there, great schools. I think they do good in medicine. Some good stuff y'all got up there. But y'all want these kids to play football for free? But everybody else need to go home. Y'all want them to play football. Y'all suck at football. Y'all ain't even good. Let them kids stay home. Let them practice. Maybe if y'all got a year of practice, y'all might make it to a bowl game. But right now, y'all ain't it.
It's so before I jump off, it's so much I want to say.
Let's stay home because everybody need to hear what everybody got to say because this is pure.
Yeah.
Okay.
This Rant Wednesday.
No.
All this we beat y'all ass because y'all messed up on the elections.com.
Can we take a quick pivot on to the people who are actually running for office? Can I point them out real quick?
The people that won or the people that run?
People just in general, the people that run for office.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So the people that
can I get a drink, please? Throat dry.
The people that run for office, for instance.
I'll be right back. Just keep running.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going. The people that run for office, for instance, right? They got to understand you have to have a place for people to come find your information. So if you don't have a website, at least a decent social media, and a campaign manager that actually, excuse my fucking language, that fucking gives a fuck about your campaign, don't bother. For example, and I'm going to talk about this on my personal show tonight. I try to tell you at 10 o'clock. I had a possible candidate that ran for office in North Florida in Gaston County. She was running against an incumbent. So those who don't know who an incumbent is a person who has had the position multiple times, or at least for one term before
right.
The next person decides to run.
Donald Trump is the incumbent for president.
Good example. So I had a client who was running against an incumbent who's had the position for 8 terms, 4 years apiece. That means he's had the position for 32 years. What that person was missing from their candidate, they had no web address, they had no social media on any of their platforms. They got molly-whopped. All the candidates that I may have worked with either won or in runoffs. Because why? They had information for people to go back to. Not telling you who those candidates are, but it is what it is. And people don't understand the power of social media is your friend, especially in the time of this pandemic. Social media has been your friend. Websites have been your friend. People spreading your platform, via web, being what you call it, has been your friend. I am starting today. I'm officially becoming a political consultant. That is something else that I am going to do, because there has to be something else in the minds of the people. If I can get 200 people to look at my damn TV show on a Wednesday night, them 200 people need to go out and fucking vote. Period, point blank. Excuse my language here on Tech Beats and Bytes. The producer has something to say. I've been doing this so long. I've missed one election. Let me talk about voter suppression. I still vote in Leon County. The reason why I still vote in Leon County is because of my mother and my parents. It affects them. The stuff down here I can live with, because most times in the stuff I have enough people that's in agreement for what you call it. I still vote Leon County because it affects my mother. It affects my properties. It affects things that I own in that city, because I'm back and forth. It is a shame. It's a shame that a city 1/3 the size of these metropolitan cities have greater voter turnout than these cities who got over 1 million voters, or almost 1 million voters. Almost 1 million voters. Bring Mike back. He had to go get himself. He had to go get a beverage. I'm about to go get me one too. But it's so much. It's so much, man. Like I'm over it. If I gotta spend the rest of my days, especially before and after, spending one time a month educating people on the right to vote. John Lewis did not die in vain. He fought for the right to vote. Yes, yesterday was the 100-year anniversary for women's right to vote. Let me clear that asterisk up. White women only had the right to vote 100 years ago. Not anybody of color, white women. So if you want to put the little asterisk there, that's what it was.
Look. So, yeah, Danny, I'm not drinking. I'm just drinking water. Let me be that clear. Now, as soon as I get off of this, that's a whole different topic. We normally drink beer. We used to always drink on the show.
Right.
Just so people know. we always drink. That was part of the show. So, got some comments on the other line. Brian Burkeen, you already know how I feel about that everyday life, so you are absolutely right. Danny, your question was, Danny Spikes has asked, how much do campaign managers make? Danny, campaign managers make, I would say, probably a percentage of what campaigns can raise. It varies. Now, Danny, because I know me and you think alike, and both of us have been watching the state attorney race, let me tell you this. One state attorney had a team of 3 and probably maybe close to $100,000, $150,000 raised in total, if that, over an extended amount of time. The other state attorney candidate, the incumbent, spent over $300,000 in less than 30 days. So one of the points that Dante made, and one of the things that is very true, is that being in front of people, they may not know any of the facts. They simply vote on the name they hear the most and the person they see the most. And so in this election, while social media could help you, it wasn't enough, because in Dade County, in Dade County, especially down there where you live, Danny, in Dade County, almost 40% of the voters are 56 plus years old. So if you're not door knocking and getting in their face and showing up at churches, showing up at some of these restaurants, sending mailers, and these things cost tens of thousands of dollars. That's where it's at. Now, remember, 46% are 55 plus. 67 to 70% are Hispanic. So let's just be clear. Besides your anything that is county-wide, any race, listen to what any race that is a county-wide race in Dade County is controlled and decided by the Hispanic demographic.
Period.
Can't beat the numbers.
Period.
If you can't control a majority of that vote, you will not win a race. If you do not control a majority of that vote, you need a minimum of 30%. And then after that 30%, you have to dominate everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you get into precincts and races that are controlled by a basis of your demographical, so they're only done within certain precincts, only people, certain people can vote on them.
Right, like municipalities.
Municipalities, that's when your votes vary and your votes are a lot different. But when it comes to a county-wide thing, it's different. So a campaign manager can almost be a volunteer in some cases, Danny. Campaign managers can make six figures. Some of them may work for 6 to 7 months. Some of them are working for 2 years. I would say for any Democratic-led organization that would like to see a foundational and structural change in South Florida, the race is going to be in 4 years. Those endorsements need to be in place in 2 years.
Yeah. People don't understand, just to piggyback off of you, Mike, people don't understand. So Governor 2022, that's when DeSantis will be going for quote unquote re-election. They need to start now.
Yeah.
Let me say that one more time. They need to start yesterday, actually 2 days ago. They need to start on their campaign for 2022. I know, for instance, Chevron Jones' campaign, we know the campaign manager very excellent. He's been working on that campaign for 2+ years. I shot a video for that campaign back in October of 2018.
You got anybody that's running for the midterms, you got to start now. And any organization that wants to see a change, any organization that wants to see a change, you cannot be endorsing 60 days out.
No, sure.
You got to use your platforms better. There's too many organizations that have platforms and people that take their word for gold that made their endorsements within 3 weeks of the actual election dates. That's too late. That's like bringing water to the burning house when the house is 60% burnt. What are you
ashes already?
Yeah, what are you saving at that point?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that endorsed a lot of people, but you don't see an endorsement become a part of the playoffs in the third round. They've been endorsing ever since the season started.
Right. So example of the starting early, right? So Melba, now that she has had this level of visibility, like she should continue to begin to work for next time.
She starts tomorrow. She should start tomorrow.
Right. Like
take the day off and drink today. Start tomorrow.
Right, because it's momentum, right? You've been seen, so continue to build upon that. Because that's one of the things, especially if you don't necessarily have the budgets to match other candidates, use your voice, your face as much as you can, so that way people get familiar with you. So your name now is just as synonymous as the people who have ads running on TV. You have to take a grassroots approach to it, and it requires more legwork and more effort. But you got to put it in.
But Toya, this is my thing though. I want to ride off of that. Ride off of what you said. It goes back into the other part. Go right back to every organization that endorsed you and get a pledge that unless another candidate better than me comes up, you will go ahead and commit for my rerun of that position.
Right. Don't let
because that's the voice you need. You need those programs to say, okay, we'll commit to putting out a mailer. You know what? We'll change our policies, because it's not like people came into the platform or people came into these elected positions 3 weeks ago. They've been around. You've been knew who the candidates was. Why don't you change your process? Because it makes it hard to think that you're not waiting for somebody to say, yeah, I'll do you a favor. It makes it hard to seem like some of this stuff ain't going to be payoffish.
I want to add something to that, team. Like, for instance, so we're talking about endorsement. So Kathy got an endorsement from the Miami Herald, for instance, right?
Kathy didn't get an endorsement. Kathy got a paid advertisement from Miami Herald. Go ahead.
She got paid advertisement. But they ran so many stories on how she has done all these bad things, but yet turn around and endorse her. Like, so for instance, as you saying, Melba needs to start tomorrow, right? Every time Kathy makes a misstep or does something, call everybody back out. Hey, Miami Herald, you called. You said that Kathy did.
That's it. You're right. That's the campaign, hands down.
Yeah,
your campaign.
You got 2 years to fix it. Whatever you said you were gonna fix.
Every misstep, keep putting something out for at least 2-3 weeks.
2 years. You give her 18 months, and I tell you, I said 6 months. If she was so basically, we'll give you credit. You couldn't focus because somebody was putting pressure on you. So you couldn't focus the last 2 or 3 months. But now that you've won, everything you said you was going to fix, you got 6 months to do it. If you don't fix it in 6 months, because you know you got the power to do it, if you don't fix it or correct it in 6 months and readjust the monies and the funding to take care of these things, after 6 months, it's go time. You lied. Because now we have video footage. This is where she messed up. Now there's video footage of everything you said you was going to do.
And it's on the internet.
And if it's on the internet with Medium 4, we can pull it now.
Hallelujah. Let the wizard work.
And now you start cutting up that video and you say, hey, you said you was going to take care of this. It's been 6 months. What's happening?
What's happening? Because
the moment she says, well, in the policies, things take a certain amount of time and we're moving as fast as we can. Well, in this part you said you could move faster and you would take care of these things and expedite it. So, but everybody needs to do that. But even off of the state attorney, y'all take the time to learn what these people do. Because y'all, Lord knows in Miami-Dade, but Hollandale, Fort Lauderdale, Del Rey, y'all got CRAs. They got millions of dollars that's affecting all the stuff that's going around in your community.
And puppeted by the politicians.
But guess what? Donald Trump does not control that money. DeSantis doesn't even control that money. There is $1 billion. I want everybody to hear. There is $1 billion project being built in Pompano Beach. 5 people get to vote on who gets that money. 5. Those are your commissioners. Dante, you gotta mute all your typing.
I'm not typing. That's
LaToya? No, I'm not typing.
No, somebody typing.
I hear popping, but
yeah, there's a popping sound. Look, all I'm saying is, people, we got to get it together. This ain't gonna work. This is tiring. It's straining. And the thing I'm most upset about is I wasted my energy arguing with some of y'all, and now that I think about it, y'all don't even vote. That's the part I'm really mad about. It's about 80% of y'all that I realize I argue with. Y'all didn't even vote. Y'all stayed at home. Are y'all not even that y'all didn't even vote? Y'all probably ain't even registered to vote. It's like back in the day when me and my homeboys, you don't argue football with somebody that ain't never played football. You just a fan. That's what y'all are. Y'all are fans of politics. Y'all not in politics. Y'all just fans. Y'all just needed a conversation. It's just like, you know what? Let's make it for our younger culture. This is about comparable to WAP. Y'all don't really care about the lyrics. You just needed something to talk about. Because you ain't never had none, or you give none. So
I got a new definition. Walk your ass to the polls next time. That's what you need to do. Walk.
No.
Walk your ass to the polls.
But this is my point. Don't walk your ass to the polls. Learn the history of every other dirty song that came before that and realize it didn't corrupt nobody. Toya, come back. I can hear your voice. But
Yeah, no, I was saying right. And when we were earlier, we were talking about organizers, right? So now that the election has happened and the organizers who organized protests didn't organize people going to the polls, they need to be organizing to keep people accountable and to hold them accountable, right? So that's, I think, one of the biggest criticisms of the protest is like, what's the long-term game? How does the feet on the streets play into actual like policy and real change? Well, this is where you can step up and you could organize everybody who came to protest to be on the commissioner's doors, writing letters, like get into the real work of politics if you really trying to be about that life.
And just or at least ask and try to make effective change. Do your research to know that the person you talking to can actually make the change that you're complaining about. Quit asking for stupid stuff. And I know everybody got their own importance and their own issues, but quit being stupid. Going back to what I was saying about WAP. If y'all worried about music influencing y'all don't think politicians are influencing your kids? They control your kids' lives.
Every day.
Right.
If as many as y'all that wrote a post about Cardi B's song went out to vote, we will be having a different discussion today.
But yet, y'all got to deal with your kids virtual learning from your living room right now. Trust me, they wanted to send their little tails back to that building though. Nope, that they wouldn't been virtual learning. Your kid would have been wearing a mask and a shield, taking their butt to school. Just remember that.
I just want to know, do y'all really care? That's all I want to know. I'm just waiting for some comments. And yes, Marcellus, you're absolutely right. As we know, the CRA and DDA money, that's the real money. Y'all really sitting up here. Let me tell you something. Y'all put all this energy into worrying about a $1,200 check, but y'all got millions floating right by your street, and y'all don't show up at a city commissioner meeting. Y'all don't care about money. I care about money. I want my peace. And I had to grow up. Me, Toya, and Dante, we grew up together, and we said we chasing the wrong bag. It's some money right there around the corner at that city hall, and they giving it away by the boatloads. That's when all of our companies came together, and we started chasing RFPs. Changed our whole thing. We straight started gold digging. Get us a shovel. We is gold digging in these city halls. But y'all sitting around complaining about y'all cities. We be there. Where y'all at? Because I know y'all don't be showing up.
They're committed. People don't understand. It's not even just the council meetings. It's the council advisory board meetings too. It's them other meetings that y'all don't think it's important. Show it to a couple of them. Then you find out how important they are.
CRA money. Overtown. CRA money. Hollandale. CRA money. Fort Lauderdale. CRA money. Everybody that's complaining about what's happening in Sistrunk, CRA money. They moving. Y'all worried about these little dope boys moving weight? They moving metric tons of steel right into your community. They are moving metric tons of cement right into your community. They are moving metric tons of gravel into your community, and y'all ain't doing nothing about it.
Look at all the stuff that has been built in the last year west of 7th in Broward County.
And I promise you, whatever you think your dope boy making, it's a fraction. It's a fraction of what's going on in your neighborhood. Sistrunk, y'all got a whole YMCA being built. How many black people got contracted to do that? How many people are even local? That's another thing. Like I said, we can get out of race. Most of the time, contractors out of state and out of county come in to do jobs in the counties, and the companies that are keeping these cities alive aren't even getting paid. But y'all don't want to have that conversation.
No, because that conversation requires work and effort.
And research. Which I did.
Y'all heard her. That's the voice of a woman.
Y'all put it into work. It don't come easy. Nothing good.
It's right there, though. The bag is right there. It's grants. You don't like writing grants? Hire somebody to do the grants. You don't want to write proposals? There's a whole bunch of people writing proposals for a living. They literally sit there and write proposals. Work together and collaborate, but y'all don't even want to vote. So if y'all don't want to vote, I'm just going to assume y'all don't like money. Everybody I know that like money, they vote. So instead of me asking people, what's your budget? I'm going to start saying, did you vote? And I will determine your budgets based off of your response.
You didn't vote. Oh, that's the extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 because you just didn't vote.
You voted. Oh, you got a good budget.
It's a voting surtax. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a voting surcharge on clients who didn't vote. There it is.
And now you can do that with the clients you on board. If you didn't vote, I don't want to work with you. I'm good, fam.
You're paying tax.
Because I never built this business just to make money. I built this business with Dante to make impact. And I like working with other people that make impact because there's a lot of stuff I've worked on for free. There's a lot of stuff we've gotten underpaid for. There's a lot of things that I'll never get credit for, but I know it made impact so I can sleep good at night. But I'm telling you right now, you ain't vote, you don't want to work with me. And actually, I want people to be clear about this. Even if you voted Republican, I still would mess with you because you at least voted. We don't have to agree on everything because we don't work with a lot of companies. I work with a few companies that I don't totally agree with what they're doing. Now, that's a luxury we've been afforded from what Toya said, time and effort. But if y'all don't vote, I don't care about your social media campaign. Like, it needs to start off with, we're building this organization. And if you want to become a member of this organization, you have to show up with your voter registration card. I think Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, Omega Psi Phi, just all of the Divine Nine. Membership should become invalid if you are not registered to vote.
You can't become a member unless you turn in your voter registration card. FYI.
How are they following up with that though?
They need a follow-up process.
That's my point.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then on top of that, you can't come to no events if you can't show us that you voted. Just show up with a little sticker. I mean, we just got to do something. HBCUs, no more homecomings if you ain't registered to vote. Stay your little unvoting ass at home. We got to do better.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's that population, right? That's what I'm saying. We need to do a survey of like people who did not vote, like why? Like give us the insight because once we know, then you know how to attack it. And
I'm gonna do that to you. I'm gonna hit up Infinity Research. I'm gonna ask Infinity Research to do a program and a data survey of why people aren't voting. Now,
we need to know.
The part I'm scared about is because a lot of people probably gonna say my vote won't count. Because I used to hear that a lot. What is one vote? I don't know. One is a lot when it's 10,000 of y'all that feel the same way.
Right. And you see in the numbers, less than a third. That means it's like, come on, y'all. Especially in the local. We talked about this already. It's a vote for the local elections. There's no electoral college layer. It's your vote. Period.
Like when they go to the recount, if the person wins by 4, they won. You could have been that 4th person.
Because technically Trump lost in the actual votes. He won by
First of all, it's not a technical. Trump lost, period. No, he got to be no technical. He lost the popular vote. He won the electoral college. These things are not hypothetical or technical. This is real life, people. People are dying because of policies. People are dying. I'm not just talking about police violence, starvation, poverty, gun violence. People are dying because of the decisions we're making in this country. Protesting is not enough.
Right. And just to take it even a step further, right? Everything that people are like harping on Kamala Harris about when she was the state attorney. Like that was yesterday. That was yesterday.
Look, if we're gonna go there, I got something to say about that. How many times have y'all seen the state attorney come down and prosecute somebody for weed charges? How many times did y'all see Kathy Rundle come in and bust one of y'all friends when he was holding under a gram of cocaine or weed? Those ain't the things state attorneys deal with. They deal with much larger cases. And granted, she's also not doing the sentencing. Y'all don't vote about y'all judges. You realize the judges hand down the sentencing. The prosecutors just prosecute. It's your racist judge that has to sit there and say, well, Sean, first time offender, black male, 21 years old, caught with a blunt, 10 years, no probation. John, white offender, 21 years old, caught with a joint. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
30 days probation. That wasn't your prosecutor, guys. That was your judge. But y'all don't want to talk about judges. Your judge made that decision to give black men 5 times a harsher sentence. Now, your prosecutor probably also has something to do with the plea deals and everything else. I'll give you that. But y'all don't want to vote for judges because, you know, that's a local thing. Why y'all think Donald Trump was so amped on getting judges in place? Because guess what? If my friends get popped, hey, man, he's straight. Let him go. That's why the whole appellate court had to come back and be like, wait. You can't let him go? Alicia, who was that they tried to let go?
That's why. Oh, what's the lady in Supreme Court who holding on right now? She's staying there till Trump gets out of office. Yeah, she's staying there to RGF because you don't understand. He can reappoint 2 new Supreme Court judges if he wins again, because she's at age. She needs to retire, but she's literally.
But again,
Michael Flynn.
She is
Michael
literally
Flynn was who I was talking about earlier.
She's
Flynn
literally
did all that stuff on
so a new administration can get into office.
right. But again, so much focus is put on the Supreme Court, but it's your local judges.
Brian
that
Perine.
affect you more.
Juvenile. He was running for. Brian Perine was running for juvenile judge in Miami-Dade County. Not to say the person who beat him was better than him, but knowing who Rod is, he would have had a little bit more leniency on our children that need to be corrected instead of incarcerated.
But don't he mess with Kathy though?
That I can't confirm or deny. If he does, then I will retract my statement.
All I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff that happens local that we don't pay attention to.
Gotcha. Understood.
And a lot of stuff that's happening local, there's a problem. Those are the problems that people normally complain about. And if we don't want to fix the local problems,
National problems. It's only
national problems won't even hit you.
Won't even matter.
By the time the national stuff touch you, the local problems would have already destroyed you.
Right. Because most likely your case is not going to the Supreme Court. So
At all.
It's going to die.
It's not going to affect you to that level. That's your local judge.
Yeah, I'm like, have y'all ever paid attention to how many cases the Supreme Court actually? I mean, cool, we need RGBA, we need that appointment.
And they set precedents, right?
Right.
It's completely not denying the importance of the Supreme Court, but again, just placing emphasis on the local election and your everyday life. Like that's the key, your everyday life.
Look, I just want these takeaways. Organizations, y'all need to speed up your endorsement and you need to be more profoundly outspoken on your endorsements. Because there's lives and people that depend on y'all because they're waiting to hear what you're going to say. I'm not even going to get into the editorial part because that was just an embarrassment and a whole nother clusterfuck. People, humans, organizers, let's organize 20,000 people showing up to vote. My challenge is increase, because we don't have enough young people showing up. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna try to find the numbers, but overall percentage, I'm gonna get these numbers. The overall percentage for young people, Toya, in Dade County was borderline despicable. All right, so check this out.
Yeah.
Total vote by mail, and I want you to know, some people need to know this. A lot of losses that were taken yesterday, those losses were determined not by the press and not by everybody else, but by data scientists and people like me that see numbers and algorithms. A lot of people that voted, a lot of your races were determined by vote by mail and early voting, just to put that out there.
Yeah.
But for total vote by mail and early voting, 65.58% of votes and vote by mail and early voting was determined by 56 plus year olds. The second range was 22.3%. Your 18 to 30 only made up 11.6%.
Right. Where the rest of the people that was out in the streets?
11.6% out of
state protesting.
300,000 people.
They'll state protesting, Toya, because they ain't want, Black Lives Matter.
That means 35 to 40,000 of y'all,
or Blue Lives Matter,
were voting, but y'all didn't show up. And if you would have showed up to vote, for the protesters,
Yeah, no, so he's stuck, he's frozen for me.
Yeah, go ahead and go.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, no, exactly. So the next time a protest happens, I need to see some civics, papers and flyers being passed around that breaks down. We're protesting this issue. These are the elected officials who we need to address. And these are people that we need to be voting for next time. Like, give the long follow through aspects of the protest. It's not just being out there in the streets. There's other things that come along with trying to make impact, and then also address the changes you want to see. It doesn't just happen on the streets, which is why when you think back to the civil rights era, there were different tactics. They had sit-ins, they did protests, they did voting aspects, right? There was a whole thing about that. It was a multi-pronged approach to making real change happen. That's the same level of thinking, the same level of organizing and strategy needs to be put into place. So in that way, you can see the changes you want to see. Civil rights, then the changes from the civil rights era did not happen overnight, but it wasn't just one thing that people did. It wasn't just protesting and marching.
I just want to, do they really care? Y'all just addicted to them candies we was talking about? Y'all just want the likes, comment, and share? Because it's a couple of situations, a little bit off topic, but speaking about real life, there's a couple of situations where I saw y'all filming. Y'all should have been beating somebody's ass. Everybody ain't got to be a news reporter. Some of y'all need to put the cameras down and just take care of business. Because I'm telling you right now, if somebody beating my ass and you my friend and all you do is record me getting my ass beat, I'm going to beat your ass after I finish getting my ass beat. We're going to have a problem. You got to drop that camera and put in some work. We going to jail together.
So going back to the civil rights era, there was sacrifice that happened.
Like
They
I
knew they were
got
going
to
to
take
jail
at least 5 seconds.
intentionally.
Boy, I'm telling you right now, if you was to pull out a camera for 5 seconds, I'm beating your ass for 5 minutes. Every second you didn't help me out, we is going to war. Y'all is too addicted to these candies, man. And I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now,
strategy more is like, yeah,
Toya, and that's what you was about to say is where I was about to go. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, we ran about 4 campaigns, I believe. I think we went 3 for 4. No, we ran 5 campaigns. We went 3 for 2. We lost 2 of them.
2 in a row.
I'm disappointed. And I'm disappointed because I feel the knowledge and the information I have from what we did from social media marketing, I should have applied that to more of the actual on the ground and the messaging and everything else. I won't be a silent. Like Dante said, political consultant would be something added to Medium 4. I can't be a silent anymore because I've seen people running campaigns, Toya, on a local level, talking about national issues. And I had to ask them, like, can you even change this? Why is you talking about that, fam? You can't do nothing with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, like, I'm a car guy. And with cars, some parts are interchangeable. But, bro, I've never seen BMW talking about Honda parts. They just don't go together. Y'all need to work on y'all messaging. It's too many organizations, foundations, political candidates. Y'all messaging is horrible. And that's the thing. You can dislike Republicans, but their messaging is very simple and clear. When an 8-year-old can be around reciting your campaigns, it's effective. Because guess what I know everybody still know? If I come in somewhere and I go, dun, 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 everybody going to start singing Baby Shark.
right. Look, hooks, chants, slogans are effective for a reason because they're simple and they're catchy and they stick.
If you got to break down 3 paragraphs to explain to me what you going to do to make my life better, bruh, they stopped listening a long time ago.
Say it to somebody else and be like, this is what they represent.
Right, exactly. The new strategy for now on, if your messaging ain't as effective as Baby Shark, start over.
Make it rhyme. Make it rhyme. Or give it like a
yeah, do something. You see us out here clapping our hands. We got people clapping their hands in text messages. That means it worked.
Right.
Because like, these Kamala quotes.
Horrible example, but it stuck.
I'm over it already.
Still saying at them Trump rallies. And Hillary,
you know where Kamala was at? Because Kamala be sending them zingers. Be hitting people. Bow, bow, bow. That was the best thing about it.
Think about it. Make America Great Again is on a
it's on a beat.
Proves the point.
That's my word.
Proves the point.
Right.
What was Hillary's campaign? Can anybody tell me? Go.
Forward together, maybe.
What is that?
It didn't rhyme. It didn't have a rhythm.
It ain't got no rhythm to it.
It ain't got no rhythm to it.
So that was to me forward together.
Bill better. Bill was it? Bill better. Bill something. We got to work on that. We need to send them a new one.
But it don't matter. But guess the one you remember. You remember the one or the person that won.
Right. But what I do like that I've seen are some of the yard signs that say "Bye Don," and I was like, that's kind of cute, but you don't hear it.
Right. But that's because somebody else came up with it. Like you got to be effective.
Right. Or play on his last name, like "Bye Don, bye Don." Like, where's the chant? I need to hear the pep rally. Where's the pep rally?
I'm gonna need to do just like Phase. We about to trump you.
Right.
Run that 13-0 on it.
Listen,
because if anybody ever trumped you in spades, you needed to get up from the whole table.
Herd mentality. People like things that they can do together and add some life to it. It gives it a whole other movement unto itself. People just be out here it's too cerebral. You gotta
you can't.
You gotta bring it down.
We just told y'all you gotta do Poly 101. People don't even understand politics, but now you're gonna try to go super deep to get them to vote for you. Right. They don't get it.
Root chakra, hit them with the beats. Make it simple. Pop a little bit to it.
And all that trash people be talking about these new rappers, hire them to make your shit. If it can't go into a trap song, it ain't a good campaign.
Listen, just basic rudimentary stuff.
So people, needless to say, Tech Beats and Bytes has been very disappointed by the outcome of these elections.
Oh, hour and 15 minutes later.
Yeah, we just want y'all to know we got to do better. And the unfortunate part, but fortunate part, is y'all only got a couple of months to do better. Y'all got 3 months to get it together. Because if these numbers, I'm putting it on camera. If these voter turnout numbers don't come up to like that 40% for November, don't be complaining to me. I don't want to hear nothing about what's going on. Just get to work. Put your head down and get to work. Because if these numbers start looking the same for this presidential campaign, y'all just talk. Either y'all just talk, or the only people that's really posting this is under 18 and they can't vote. But if these numbers don't double, because I'm telling you right now, let me just make this clear, because I am not a Trump supporter. But let me just make this clear. If y'all think those Republicans ain't going to show up, you know how we tell Melania, blink twice if you want to get out? If y'all think those Republicans ain't going to show up, y'all about to lose. I just want that to be very clear. They going to vote. I know y'all think Dade County, I'm telling you right now, with one of those big elections y'all were fighting for, Melba Pearson lost because that wasn't a closed primary. 80,000 Republicans showed up to vote. That wasn't decided by all Democrats. That was an open primary.
Yep. Position is locked.
If y'all think the red ain't coming out to vote, you're going to have a problem. Don't get comfortable because we got celebrities and we get more tweets and reposts and Instagram likes. Those things don't translate to votes.
Sure don't.
They out there. It's a lot of people that got their own interests in hand and they got their own agendas and they're executing them right before you. And all these people talking about Kamala Harris, I want to make it real simple for y'all. That debate was over 2 days ago. There ain't no more choices. This is the ticket.
Only ticket.
It's time to start uplifting. And if you're talking about writing in Kanye's name, I need you to block me. If you're talking about writing in Bernie's name, I need you to block me. Because at this point, I'm calling you stupid off of the basis of mathematics. I'm not even calling you stupid because of what you believe in. It's mathematics. This is no longer emotional. This is all strategic statistics and just pure common sense. Quit writing names in for somebody ain't never won for their name been written in. Y'all about to lose if y'all don't get it together. Real simple. There's no more debate. There's no more extra discussion. I don't care why you don't like her. I don't care what she did wrong, unless you can tell me that she's doing more wrong than what we're going through right now. Let's change the debate. Instead of saying anything negative about Joe Biden or about Kamala Harris, all I need you to do is tell me what Trump is doing better than what they're possibly going to do. If you can't do that, shut up. Because you're wasting oxygen and we doing bad on that. Y'all got to get it together because it ain't working.
Pollution is real.
And right now, y'all are being very toxic. I shouldn't be drinking on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock, but it's about to happen.
It's one of them days.
Toya, thank you. Dante, thank you for joining and being
Thank y'all.
the version 2 of Dwight for today.
I mean, I'm gonna talk more about this on my show tonight. I'm literally going to extend church announcements to like 2 more songs to let all this back out again, and I'm going to make sure.
You know what? We let's do it tonight. I want to come on tonight. Let's talk.
Oh, that's gonna be.
I actually got another topic. Can I bring you on next week?
I don't want to do that other topic. If you talk about, I don't want to do that one.
I'm going to talk about voter, and I'm going to talk about some personal voter suppression that I had to go through with Leon County tonight.
That's what we need to talk about.
And so, let me do a dolo, dog. You next week, please.
See how you do your boy?
Bruh, I got
a little bit of clout, and now they want to be all up and next week.
No, I got already. I'm working on I do my research for my show. I love you both. Appreciate you letting me come on.
See, you want to be all up on Take Me Some Bites, but won't hit your dolo.
Look,
exit.
Y'all have an internet issue.
Let me close out with just me and Toya over here.
Okay, I'm about to
get off the screen. Bye. What is this gapping? What kind of screen layout is this?
Yeah, that is interesting. I saw that. But anyway, that's Mike.
That's Toya.
This is Take Me Some Bites.